Republican lawmakers are considering whether to appeal a decision that blocks parts of North Carolina's new abortion law. This weekend, a federal judge temporarily blocked a part of that law that requires abortions after 12 weeks to be performed at a hospital, not an abortion clinic.
The judge also blocked part of the law requiring medical professionals to document where within the uterus an embryo is before prescribing a medication for an abortion. Abortion is still banned in North Carolina after 12 weeks of pregnancy, with limited exceptions such as for rape or protecting the mother's life.
We're disappointed, and we think the decision was not well reasoned, but 90% of this law is still in effect.
They are medically unnecessary and vague and nonsense.
So before the new law went into effect, Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers said they were seeing an influx of patients from other states that quickly enacted new restrictions.
Tonight, we're going to take it a step further. Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rose joins us now. Khalif, we've been here before, but what's different now?
Well, she did a temporary injunction previously, and the Planned Parenthood and the doctor from Duke Hospital filed that claim asking the entire law to be thrown out. She kept in place, the judge that is, 95% of it, leaving those two. This was the preliminary injunction, furthering and establishing that this will stay in place until there's a trial. And so this will have a lot longer lasting impact. And you have to be able to show that they have success or the likelihood of success on the merits. And in her order, she said, yes, it looks like Planned Parenthood will likely be successful on the merits. And you have to prove that they'll have this hardship. They mentioned that there's been folks that have come and been confused on what they can do.
Right.
If you're trying and attempting to get rid of longer-term abortions, this seems like it has the impact of getting rid of short-term abortions. If it's moved from 20 to 12 weeks, right? And during that 12-week time frame, you're asking them to be able to pinpoint the location of a fetus that you may not even be able to find. Now prolongs the time frame that a person would have to wait. And the judge said that in her order. She said, you guys are trying to, in essence, get rid of short-term abortions when your law actually is what is supposed to be short-term abortion.
So what impact will the ruling have on the law itself? And I know it can get confusing. I feel like whenever we talk about the subject as a whole, it's a lot to be able to process.
It's a lot to be able to process and digest. I mean, and it's extremely confusing. You have the Attorney General of the state saying, I want nothing to do with this, I won't defend it. You have Planned Parenthood filing claim after claim, attempting to make sure that they have at least an opportunity to provide some type of abortion in the state. Majority of the law will still be in effect. It still is 12 weeks, not 20 weeks. It went in effect back in July, and that still is the law. The only portion that's changed that you guys mentioned at the top of the show is the being able to not need to dictate or specify the location of the fetus, and that portion of being able to have an outpatient treatment at a Planned Parenthood as opposed to needing to go to the hospital in cases of rape or incest, where those emergency procedures could take place later in the term. Those are things that will still have to get ironed out in the court system.
Right.
And so the judge said it's vague, it's confusing, and you haven't pointed to anywhere a rationale for why you need this. And I read over there, I couldn't find a rationale either, and that's why this thing will continue.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more questions going forward as well, as will be revisited, not only in the doctor's office, but in court as well.
100%. This will go to the Court of Appeals if the state decides to take it there. But a few years ago, the Court of Appeals was looked at as probably the most conservative in the country.
Right.
Now it's become extremely leaning to more liberal after Obama appointed two folks there. And so now it's a toss-up. You can really see that them following what the judge on the U.S. court this side said. And so I'd wait and see, and I don't know if it's worth going up there for 2 points when you got 90+% of what you want in that law to still be enacted. So we'll have to wait and see if Berger and Moore will decide to go forward with taking it up to the Court of Appeals.
All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rose, thank you.